What is Russia hoping, thinking it'll get out of this conflict?
Well, it's hard really to see a good option for Vladimir Putin in this conflict at the moment. It looks as though Russia is leaning towards supporting Alexander Lukashenko, but there are clearly big disadvantages to that, seeing how extremely unpopular he has become. But we have seen Russian military vehicles moving towards the Belarusian border, which might not be a sign that an invasion is imminent, but that they want to keep that option open. Also, Vladimir Putin spoke about this crisis with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel today, and the Kremlin readout from that was that the Kremlin had stressed that no intervention, external intervention in Belarus would be acceptable, sounding very much like the Kremlin didn't want the West or Europe to intervene in Belarus, which basically sounds like an attempt to give credence to Lukashenko's rather far-fetched line that the European Union, NATO or the West in general would be preparing to intervene in Belarus. Also, Russian media seem to have been towing that line rather more the last few days, talking about Western interference, when in reality this protest movement is not geopolitical in character. It's not like Ukraine in 2013, 2014, where protesters were demanding closer intervention with the European Union. There's really nothing of that sort among the protesters' demands. They're not waving EU flags, for example, but nevertheless, that might be something that Vladimir Putin is afraid of. If Alexander Lukashenko is forced out, Vladimir Putin can't control who will take over from him. And even if the person who takes over from him is somebody who's broadly favourable to Russia, he can't be sure that that person will really have full control over Belarus, which has for 26 years been in the iron grip of Alexander Lukashenko. So Russia can't be sure that if Alexander Lukashenko leaves, Belarus won't start trying to move towards the West and to going against its very, very strong, up till now, alliance with Russia, though I would stress that Belarus economically is still extremely dependent on Russia.
Right. In the meantime, though, these protests, these strikes are continuing against Lukashenko. Are they gaining steam or are they starting to peter out?
It's very hard to say. Strikes are absolutely going on, but the strikes in most places, with some exceptions, have not taken over the whole factory, mine or whatever the company is and stopped work completely. There are large numbers of workers striking, but there are also large numbers of workers who are afraid of losing their revenues or their jobs. And at least one factory in Minsk, the Minsk tractor factory, a reporter at the scene today said there were clearly fewer strikers than there were yesterday. In order to support the strikers, there are various initiatives underfoot. A national committee to support the strikers was announced today, in which private businesses, private individuals, everybody who can is being called on to help them financially mainly, and also cafes and restaurants have said that they will provide food to the strikers in order to make them think that someone's got their back and that they can carry on striking even if it means they're going to be out of pocket.
Gulliver, thank you for that. That's our regional correspondent, Gulliver Cragg.